Hello, everybody. This is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners, and here's my weekly update on my sample trading portfolio coming up next. Hi, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another week of my podcast. Back to square one again. Now the volatility seems to have died down after about a month of up and down markets. This past week has been more or less like a down week, and the Dow Jones just go between 29,000, meaning 29,100 ish, to 30,000. I think intraday on the futures have gone above that to 30,100 or something, but it's just never able to stay above it. So it's more or less up and down, up and down. So like past 4 weeks, we have before election, we have the Dow Jones gone down, and then election week, and then we miraculously, Dow Jones sort of recover, even though the initial scare was the week before that was because coronavirus spreading around in US and so forth, and the lack of stimulus package from the president, so to speak, or the White House. But it's not much change except the election week, a week later, and then the market gone up, and then following week just continue. And then the past week is just actually settle things down. One thing though, sometimes it just really make you think: is it this market being manipulated or not? Just look at how fantastic suddenly we have a coronavirus vaccine coming out. And I remember when I dig through some of the news from Donald Trump, he did say, there's some sort of vaccine will be available by December or something, and then suddenly we had all this hoo-ha, all this news just right around the election time. Sometimes it just make you feel all this manipulation is pre-planned. I think, just conspiracy theory here, just my own feeling, just more like Donald Trump somehow make this up to try to help him win, but it's somehow God happens, and he's not winning at the moment. But even then, the market still think here, until he is sworn in properly, and then decided by the Congress. I think in the middle of December, there's still a chance that he might come back, even though whatever Donald Trump's and his legal team is in trying to overturn some of the votes, the count and so forth, don't seem to really matter. But this week basically just more or less, similar to last week. One thing though, last week we have on Monday, we have a Pfizer's with the vaccination news, and then the market gone up from 1700 at one point and come back down, only up about 800 point-ish. Again, this Monday we have similar thing again, but this time is Moderna. And apparently it is quite funny when you look at it. This time Moderna said this initial study, stage 3 study, shows that its drugs is effective as 94%. The week before, Pfizer says 90%, and then week after, Moderna basically say 94%. But and then the market gone up to not as much as last week, but on Monday just gone up about 470 points or something. But still quite a bit, and then the whole week is up and down, nothing much, and mainly down most of the time, end of the week. But then I think on Wednesday, Pfizer come out and say, our result for over 65 is 94% or 96% or something, as if they are just like trying to up one another. But at the end of the day, is the both vaccine still suffer the same thing like I said before. To me anyway, this is vaccine for Americans, for around the world. If you can get hands on it. With only 40 or 50,000 people being tested in various stages and stuff, and the details not being told about yet, it's still left a lot of question. And also the distribution. Pfizer's one is minus 7 to 80 degrees. How many of us, or for example in America, how many facilities are available actually can store that within minus 80 degrees Celsius. Not many places can actually store that, and therefore people will have to travel specifically for those. And even when they are make available, it's in concentrated form, and once it's diluted, it has been used. This is the Pfizer version. Not the vaccine we use within 6 or 8 hours. So people need to like all the ducks together, so to speak, and get people vaccinated. And you have to take 2 dosage. And just the logistic alone is a bit difficult to imagine. And Moderna is a similar thing. I think they only tested like 30,000 people or something. And the temperature requirement is a bit less. I think it can be a normal freezer or something. But then it's still the similar issue. The data they provided is more or less news again, and hasn't from their own news haven't actually been tested and verified by independent bodies, so to speak. And people or the market in general just gone bananas. It's really frustrating and look at it. And you look at the volume that came this last Monday and the Monday before when Pfizer, and then the past Monday when Mandela actually come out with the news. The volume actually gone up on Dow Jones. Now, it just sometimes you just make you wonder who is on the other side. This very high very top level near the 30,000 mark. I mean, with don't know, many more cities now coming into lockdown now. I mean, UK definitely is, but America, some of the states are doing that. Many people still continue catching the virus. The 20,000 or something per day or something, or some high number or something, or 20,000. I can't remember the exact figure, but it's really rising every single day. I mean, part of it is due to the election rallies and so forth. The people got a chance to mingle together. They like it or not, this election, people sometimes didn't, especially the Donald Trump's rally, don't seem to wearing much mask. And then now we have next week is the Thanksgiving. I think it's Thursday and Friday or something. And that a lot of people being reported on BBC News said in America, a lot of people just going to the airport, trying to fly away, so forth. And that is not going to help anything, with large amount of people gathering. Some of us are carrying without symptom, asymptomatic, and some is with the symptom. And it's very difficult to say, where you can catch it or you may not catch it. And for people to move around without, I'm sure they still worry about it, but they would like to be with loved ones on Thanksgiving, maybe only once a year, and in this especially difficult year due to the pandemic. I understand people, traveling around, but I won't be surprised in December suddenly you see another surge again. I think this surge, this latest surge from the number of coronavirus detected. Mainly for me, it's not, to me anyway, my understanding is not mainly just because there's more testing going on, but because also the election, that the people coming out riding and voting and try to get a vote for both parties. That's sort of like a delayed effect after 2-3 weeks it shows up. So similar thing once Thanksgiving happens and people do go and travel, didn't heed the advice of the government. And I think mid-December will be a lot more hoo-ha, something again. So basically the weeks of up and down market, I think will just probably continue. It might be a bit quiet now, but I think December could also be a bit of a up and down dramatic week as well. But not sure how many of you actually know it's end of November now. A lot of people, as far as I understand the financial market, there's a lot of financial firms. They basically do their sort of year-end calculation, bonus calculation by end of this month or early December anyway. And because most people from second or third week of December, you will start planning for their holiday, Christmas holiday, and the market's going to be quieter as usual. So I would expect this week the markets just go stay above, for Dow Jones anyway, above the 29,000 mark, and just there about, not going to do much for about a week, and then God knows what happened after that. But many people in the financial industry probably go on holiday if they still have a job, and if they actually not flying away anywhere, but unlikely because international traveling, I presume, is still banned within America. I don't know about that. I'm from UK, but I think it definitely affects people's mood. Just see how things goes. And basically that's what is more or less happening. And December, of course, middle of December as well, is the Congress deciding who is going to be president. Electoral college votes being won by each of the parties going to vote on mid-December, I think about 14 or 15, and then Congress had to rectify that. Unless Donald Trump can somehow turn the electoral college voters to vote for him, it's highly unlikely that Donald Trump will be have his second term and Joe Biden, the president-elect, will coming in. And we just have to continue wait and see. But whatever from what the news is saying, Donald Trump, conceding to losing to Joe Biden, and it's not helping the transition. It just have give a bit of deja vu. 9/11, that kind of things happen. Last time the transition wasn't good around that time with George W. Bush, and things didn't go so well. There was like a month or two delay or something, and then the 9/11 later on happens. I just hope the transition goes smoothly, and then we don't have too much issue later on, because this pandemic's really on everybody's mind. But a lot of people who are terrorists or whatever try to be harming to other countries, for example harming America, they probably use this time now to while everybody is thinking about the pandemic, might actually plan some stupid things happening, like terrorist attack or some shit like that. Who knows? But I just hope everybody's be careful. On the other hand, Bitcoin is a bit of good news this week, and it's more or less continued the past 3 weeks uptrend. And now people on YouTube and BBC News and things, saying, oh, when Bitcoin will going, and then how far will it go, and then now say, oh, it beat gold and silver so much, now it's a store of value. But the problem I have is, you bring a Bitcoin, go down to a shop, can you buy dinner with it, or put it in the bank, or go for a holiday with it? Some firms will, but it's not widely used. But if you got gold, you can just sell it. A lot of places you can sell it. It's around the world, and you can just convert local currency. You can buy food with it. So as far as I'm concerned, if Bitcoin is to take over gold, I think there's a lot more things to go yet, because Bitcoin is something that human being created. Gold is from Earth, ever since God created the Earth. We're always there, and various stages of a human history has always been using gold as one way or another, as a store of value. So I don't think Bitcoin will take over. However, at this moment in time, Bitcoin is doing well, I think up to like 18,500-ish area. God knows where it goes, but as far as I'm going to count follows, I want to go to the moon and see how it goes. And basically, we just have to wait and see on that one. And the other thing that happened, I think this is not last week, but last Sunday, China and 14 other Asia Pacific countries signed a what we call a RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Basically, just like within that partnership, these 15 countries have low tariffs for each other, and then try to improve trade, that kind of thing. But good things to note that is both Australia and Japan are included within these 15 countries, and also New Zealand as well. And both New Zealand and Australia are the so-called Five Eyes Intelligence Gathering Group, which can include Canada, UK, and US, of course. So it looks like, to me anyway, it is economy is more important than politics. At the end of the day, everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to make trade. Globalization is here to stay, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, there's some deglobalization, or so to call, or coming back into each country rather than protectionism kind of thing. But I think it's the genie is out of the bottle. You can do whatever. I mean, the rest, especially America, can do whatever it likes to do, but the genie's out of the bottle. Globalization is ingrained to many things, the supply chain whatsoever. You might have some of that move back to US, but the cost is too expensive, or move to another country. Again, there's cost, and if you have got people and land, and also if the policy from each country are they good for a particular industry, that kind of thing. Fair enough, any countries can do that, but China, remember, due to the subprime issue, 12 years ago, you already learned this hard lesson, knowing that export it shouldn't be its main driver. It should be local consumption within China itself, and it has done that the last 10 years very successfully. And everybody else is trying to send things into, or sell things into this big market, because China have the biggest middle class market. More or less first time still got loads of money and want to buy foreign goods, kind of stuff. Especially like if you have the November 11th each year, look at Alibaba's the single day It's a Singleton's Day, and you see how much they actually been on sale in items that's been on sale, and how much Alibaba actually saying the sales figures, always billion and billions figures. And this year, especially because of the pandemic, a lot of people cannot go to another country, and they buy things online. They buy more of a luxury item, things that they normally have to go overseas to get them. And this time also, Alibaba allowed a lot more foreign countries, foreign companies to actually put their stuff online on Alibaba, actually sell them, and expensive stuff, designer clothes and so forth, a lot more than before, and they make a good killings out of them, and the Chinese are buying things up, and everybody in stock, if anything that would like to sell and really want to sell to China. And so at the end of the day, with this RCEP thing, as far as I'm concerned, it's basically balance between economy and put food on the table against politics. I mean, Donald Trump is a divisive person. He's always been for the last 4 years. It shows his worth. But effectively, Australia is sort of either UK as well, being forced or pushed or whatever, and that's to go against China or whatever. But at the end of the day, if Australia, for example, China is its biggest export market, basic export partner, and for the other hand, China buy a lot, of course, from Australia. But since in Australia, it's part of Five Eyes, try to push out Huawei not to include in 5G, fair enough. But then also ask for forwarding the him shit from US to say we need to investigate the Wuhan virus, where the hell it's come from, and more or less implying it's from China. And China, of course, you say no, that's not the type of things that you want to accept. It is, the main one that's been detected is from China, but people now have, if you look at some European news and stuff, they have been detecting things happening in Europe as well, about a month or two before that, and in their own country as well. I think that was in Germany and Italy, that kind of thing. And some of them can't even find it in some old sample of the sewage. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe this is already available, this virus, and spread around, and then China for some reason, basically, from there, maybe the makeup of the Chinese, somehow helped the virus to jump over, I don't know, and to spread around China, and then spread to other Chinese people, and other people, basically from animal, from bugs, somehow transfer to person, and then from person to person transfer, and just spread out that way. But as far as I'm concerned, U.S. have always been saying, or Donald Trump always say, this is from China, this virus. And it's not very nice. I'm being a Chinese and then hearing Donald Trump actually say, the Kung flu. It's a bit disheartening to see the leader of the free world supposed to be free and fair, but it doesn't seem to be that fair, doesn't it? But anyway, the deterioration of the relationship of Australia and China is for all to see. I mean, China basically say, okay, you say all these things to me, Australia. Well, I will put extra import duties on barley, I believe, or cotton. And then, of course, the pandemic happens, which spread around the world. There was a lot of fear about Chinese carrying the virus, or doesn't like Chinese or anybody wearing some mask walking around and think that this bad kind of thing. And a lot of Chinese got beaten up. A lot of it's underreported. Some got reported. A lot of them, I believe, probably not. Australia is happening in Australia, happening in the US, and happening in UK here as well. That kind of things. And of course, the Chinese government just used that as another excuse to basically tell students to say, you go to Australia studying, be careful, people over there not very nice, and also they didn't contain the virus, blah blah blah. And that kind of stuff hurt Australia a lot, because one of the things that China's still exporting is students, and also people traveling around as well, because they got a lot more money. And Australia, just like UK and US as well, rely a lot on those Chinese students going into the countries, and that really hurt Australia as far as I'm concerned. So at the end of the day, it's really between, for each country overall, I think, it's between politics or economic. Can you actually trade and they make money for its people, and then therefore put food on the table, or just always have a more high ground, so to speak, and point fingers at China. But China is no different from any other countries. We all have skeleton in our closet. We all have our growing pain. Some things where you do good, something we not do very good, and to point the fingers at each other is not going to help anyone, especially this pandemic. To hopefully we recover soon, and then when we recover, we need each other to help each other. Basically, all countries help each other rather than pointing fingers, which is not going to help. And we just have to see how this partnership will work out. Hopefully, it's in the benefit of Australia as well as to China, to South Korea and Japan and New Zealand as well, and everybody, think of making money, work together, that kind of thing, better than pointing fingers at each other. I think that's a better ending. And the other thing still worrying me, as I said before, it just coronavirus continues to spread in America, and I do not believe the Dow Jones actually reflected that. All they are thinking about is so quick with the vaccine, and everybody will get it very soon. But distribution is an issue. People might not even take it right away, and then depends on how much is available, how much vaccine is available. Some people will not get vaccinated even though they want to, and then basically who should get what? Frontline nurses, the doctors, the police, the ambulance people, or something. But then what about the rest of the people, the old people, people in high risk? It's a bit difficult to say at this stage, but I certainly believe the Dow Jones index haven't taken that into account yet. But we just have to wait and see, because I think even with the pandemic getting subsided, with the vaccine available, the real work comes in. How do we cover the economy? Lots of people out of work around the world. How to, restart the economy? How to get the shops going again? How to get the unemployment down? All those are serious questions, and I think it's going to affect the world. So I think the next year, maybe year after that, we probably see a lot more of that ways ugly head. But for the time being, we just have to wait and see. I don't believe going to be much things happen for a week or two yet. And basically, that's the end of this part of the podcast. And next is the update of the weekly portfolio. Okay, nothing much happened this week, like I said before. And basically, on Apple side, first of all, is basically still buy. Short term, medium term is neutral. Long term is a buy, so same as last week. Amazon, on the other hand, is still a sell at the moment. For short term, medium term is neutral, and long term is also neutral. No different from last week here. Australian dollar, short term is a buy, still a buy. Medium term is neutral. Long term is also a buy. Australian dollars against US dollars basically have gone up to 0.73 briefly and then come back down again. So it's trying to break above 0.73, but until the US dollar index actually broke down below 92, I don't believe the Australian dollar can go above the 0.73 against US dollar market. So we just have to wait and see. Next is Brent crude. Short term, medium term, long term is a buy. So is WTI, the US crude oil. Short, medium, and long term is also a buy. So crude oil, like I said before, is above the 200-day moving average, and it's continued to stay in buy here. So it's everything moving along nicely. We'll just have to wait and see how much this will continue to go up, but something that worth to keep an eye on. Next is DAX, no change from last week. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. Dow Jones continues upward trajectory, buy across the board. Short term, medium term, long term is all buy. Like I said before, Dow Jones is fluctuating between, I think, 29,100 up there about to just underneath 30,000. Really having problem trying to break above that 1,000 mark, but who knows what might happen here. As far as I'm concerned, because of those two virus vaccines news, for the past couple of weeks that come on each Monday, and and the volume gone up so much, I think it's, for me anyway, it's more like a distribution than anything else. So maybe a top is performing, who knows, but trend following, as far as I'm concerned, it's still up, and therefore still buy. Next is FTSE 100 UK. Short term, medium, long term is also buy, just same as Dow Jones. So this one following the queue, like many others, following the American queues. Just have to see how it goes. Next is gold. Short term is a sell, medium, long term is neutral. Once again, gold is not going anywhere, sideways. very much similar to Dow Jones, but on the reverse, and having problem breaking below 1850, and having problems stay above 1900. So even this $50 just go up and down, up and down. November, December, traditionally, if you look at the chart as well, it has been quite normally on the sideways or slowing down phase. So we just wait and see. But I think gold and silver definitely got legs if US dollar index if it drop like expecting next year. Now maybe the best time when it's pause, time to get into it. But it's a trend following at the moment. I hold fire. It's short term is a sell, medium long term is both neutral. But I will keep an eye out on it and watch it like a hawk. And then when the price move, and I will just basically go in. Next is Hong Kong index. Short term, medium term, long term is a buy, similar to FTSE and down, just continue to go up. Next is Nasdaq. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. So Nasdaq still not much happening. Try to break above 12,000, which it did, and then come back down again. Again, similar to Dow Jones having problem, try to stay above his high points. Next is Nikkei from Japan. Short term, medium term, long term is also a buy. So it looks like all the main indices following Dow Jones all gone by at the moment. Next is silver, similar to gold. Short term is a sell, medium, long term is neutral. Nothing much happened here. Just watch the space, so to speak. Next is US dollar against Chinese yuan. Chinese dollar been selling across the board most of the time, and this week is no different. So short term, medium, and long term is a sell. As far as concerned, from the chart, if you actually look into it, for the past month or so, it sort of shows that I have a head and shoulder formations, and then it broke down, and just basically it shows quite a bit that it's going to continue to come down. And I think from the price chart itself, if you into head and shoulder stuff, it looks like it can go down to $6, 6.2, 6.3 area, maybe even to $6. So just have to wait and see on that one. So, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm a trend follower. The market trend is down, so I just continue to sell into strength. Next is US dollar against Japanese yen. Sell across the board, short term, medium term, and long term. So short term wise, been quite fluctuating up and down, up and down. So all from my mind is all due to the US dollar index. So until US dollar index moves some more and actually go break below 92,000, I'm afraid Japanese yen, US dollar against Japanese yen is just going to do similar thing sideways. Next is British pound against Japanese yen. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. But for British pound against US dollars, is buy across the board, buy, medium, and long term, and short term. As far as I'm concerned, British pounds, we're having, of course, the lockdown, and then don't seem to move anywhere with Brexit. And it looks like we're going to have hard move out of Europe. The British pound against the US dollar to go above 1.33 briefly, but it again having problem to stay above it, so come back down to 1.32 area. Just have to wait and see, but I personally feel it has a lot of downside on British pounds because so many uncertainty with the economy, with the pandemic, with the Brexit as well. The only upside that really push it back up, or reduce its downward versus, you guess it, it's just US dollar index. The US dollar strength weaken, and then the pound is just forced to stay above, be above 130. We just have to wait and see what happens. Next is Bitcoin, buy across the board, short, medium term, long term is a buy. And I said earlier it's around 18,500 at the moment. Who knows where it goes, but as far as I'm concerned, the charts, the moving averages, everything else all point to going up. But we just have to wait and see how it goes. It's more like a little step and then you move up, little step, move up. So it might still got legs, who knows, but we'll just anybody's guess where it goes. There's a lot of YouTubers out there actually say it go 20,000, 25,000, whatever it is. As far as I'm concerned, as a trend follower, I have no idea. I hope it go to the moon. I hope it go up forever, and I just keep on just stuck with it and just wait for it to be first and before I get out. But who knows what may happen? Just keep your finger crossed. Next is iShare 20 TLT ETF. Buy for short term, medium term is neutral, long term is neutral. So short term wise, this seems to have changed a bit, with the Dow Jones sort of plateau, flatlining a bit. The TLT ETF seems to come back up again, so it's doing its right thing. So wait and see. Next is Tesla. Buy across the board. Short term, medium term, and long term is still buy. So we just have wait and see. And also now we got I think on Thursday or Wednesday confirmation that Tesla is going to into S&P 500, and it gone up really high. 5 or 10% of the day. So we just have to wait and see how everything turns out to be. But as far as I'm concerned, my system says continue to buy Tesla. Last but not least is Australian index XJO. Buy across the board. It's basically short, medium term, long term is a buy. This one is if you look, somehow it looks very similar. If you look at this and compare that to the crude oil chart, they both have broken about 200 moving average, and it's moving up nicely at the moment. So I think this one probably got legs as well, especially now we got this RCEP thing being signed, and hopefully next couple of years we can get it rectified by all 15 countries. And I really hope China and Australia can just work these things out and concentrate on what they agreed on, which is trade, better than what they're not agreed on. Just continue to make more headway too, so people can benefit both sides, Australian as well as the Chinese market can benefit, and then Australian market will definitely go up. And I think this one got legs. We just have to wait and see. There may be some pullbacks, but so long as it doesn't break below the 200-day moving average, Australia index is also buy as far as I'm concerned. Basically, that's the end of my podcast for this week, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.